Telkom Enterprise. Accelerate your business growth with reliable high-speed connectivity solutions from Telkom Enterprise.
And welcome back to Jeff Koinange Live right here at Citizen Television. My guest throughout the show, Governor of County number 22, William Kabogo, had asked his opponents to come on, both Ferdinand Waitito, a.k.a. Babayao, and Dr. James Nyoro declined. I don't know if they are scared of this man or what. Are they scared of you, Governor?
I'm not sure what it is.
What is it?
I'm not sure.
They refuse.
I think I was looking through your Twitter account and I saw a message sent to you by Ferdinand.
Yes.
Well, I tried to read the message, but it didn't make a lot of sense. but at least he said something.
Was it English?
Something similar to English.
Governor, before we go to my questions, let's go to some of the tweets, because tweets coming in very thick and very fast. Okay, first SMS messages, which is 22422. Here we go. First one says, he has neglected the residents of Githurai 45. The underbridge is a mess with traffic from buses. Let him build a proper stage for buses. This is from Mama Caro.
Yes.
Okay, next. It is a pity Juja, Roiro, Kimbo Road has never been tarmacked. The roads are terrible. We need change in Kiambu. Another one. Kabogo is my preferred candidate. I can vote for him. Our MCAs are the ones who are letting him down. This is Steve. Okay, moving right along. I'm a resident of your county and a student at the SGR program. I'm currently sent home for the fee arrears, and I've sent 3 letters to your office. I tried booking an appointment, but in vain. Kindly look into this. I don't know who this is. We'll put the name, Monica, I think. Oh, well, this is another one that says, does Kabogo know a place by the name Gashege? No roads and no maternity.
Yes.
You know Gashege?
Yes, I do.
Okay, moving right along. Some tweets maybe, perhaps? Here we go with some tweets. Etiang Eli, you say, ask Governor Kabogo whether there is a possibility of him working with Waitito through consensus.
Which Waitito?
Oops. Aida Wanjiro, ask Kabogo his agenda on eradicating alcoholism, especially in Kimbo Roiro. Good one there, Aida. Maina Wamboy, you say sports facilities like Kirigiti Stadium haven't been developed. Kids have no place to be kids. What's the plan? Arson Morgan, you say, what happened to Gatukoyo Kairi Matara Road? It's in a pathetic state. Tractors were removed from the site long ago. And Augustine, you say, Governor Kabogo promised he would create 50,000 jobs within his first year at the helm. Did he achieve it? Okay. Right. There's also some Facebook. Governor, it's been a busy social media day. Justine Mwiti, you say, kindly ask him this. If he wakes up on the 9th and he's not the governor, is he ready to accept and move on?
Noted.
Good one, Justine. Benjamin Abima, you say, JKL, kindly ask him to get Mandeleo Chap Chap party ticket as soon as possible. Babayao will be on the ballot with a Jubilee party ticket, okay? Karua Dedan, you say, what are you going to do for Kiambu County that you haven't done in the last term? And the last, oh goodness, I'm going to need a microphone. Yeah, all right, we'll keep it coming. Keep tweeting at Governor W. Kabogo, at Koinange Jeff, at Citizen TV Kenya, hashtag JKL. Questions for the governor. Governor, we'll get to those in a moment.
Yes.
You've got a gist of what they were asking, right? Let me ask you one, and then we'll get into those. Last time, when you ran for governor, you ran against individuals. You trounced them, obviously, you won, you're governor. This time, they've literally all ganged up against you. All of them, all of them, basically.
Makes it easier for me.
Okay. How so?
I mean, it's easier to deal with one group as one person than to deal with many individuals from all over. Once I'm done with them at the nominations, there'll be no more elections for me.
Speaking of nominations,
Yes.
they don't even want you to pass that stage. They don't want you to make the nominations.
They would have to force themselves through the ballot. If they stop me through the ballot, I'm good with that. But as you've seen, the polls now, the polls before, it's all over, Jeff. It's written on the wall.
Speaking of polls, Governor, let's go back. Monica, we have a poll, right? We have the comparison 6 months ago and today.
Yes.
6 months ago, you were down.
I was busy working. I was not politicking. I was working, Jeff.
The
I
latest
saw
poll,
it 6 months ago,
Right.
and I said, oh, damn, I need to do some work here in politics.
and you did.
I need to quit a little bit of my
So
seriousness.
six
in
months
office.
ago, you were at 22%.
They said,
Waitito was at 33%.
the same polling agency, actually.
I mean, he was at 49%
Yes.
6 months ago.
Yes.
Undecided were 18 then.
Yes.
Last month, you are now up at 46%. Waitito is down to 33%. Nyoro, by the way, was 8% 6 months ago. Now he's at 0.
That is very serious, Jeff.
There's a person who asked you, would you work with Waitito? Would you work? I mean, what is the animosity?
I would work with anyone, Jeff. Anyone who is willing to work with me. Of course, given certain parameters. We can work with people who are truly willing to work.
Yeah, but you don't like each other,
there
do
are
you?
not many,
You don't like each other.
We don't love each other.
You hate him.
I don't hate him. I dislike him for some of the things that he says,
Like,
some of the things that he does, attitude, behavior, forcefulness, imagining that you are the only one, no one else matters. But all in all, politics aside, if he shows some seriousness in introducing himself as a gentleman and probably coming through to show that there is something he could do with others, just besides rhetoric and then just, talk, we could work together.
this is a man who called you, Governor. He called you a criminal, a murderer,
Yes.
and a drug dealer.
And this is a guy you're asking me, Jeff, if I could work with.
And you said you could.
I said if he behaved differently, I could work with him.
But he called you
But do
these
you
names.
expect him to change? If he hasn't changed at the age of 55, how do you expect him to change now?
Why did he call you drug dealer? Why did he call you murderer?
He must be sick. That's the least I want to say about that. It's a matter before court.
It is. In fact, you went to court on March the 9th,
Yes.
and the court overturned it.
No, he didn't.
Yes,
That's what he says.
the court ruled that the Kiambu governor did not present sufficient grounds to justify the issuance of an injunction.
No. That's what media reports, Jeff. The matter is still in court. All the court said is that we put in our papers, which we did, and we're waiting for a date. We put in an appeal the other day, stating that he continues to hurl insults and repeat the same derogatory language, projecting a lot of ignorance on the matter that is before court. And the court said, let's hear the entire matter.
Yeah.
So very soon, it's going to hit him like a rock.
Yeah.
Yes.
Governor, the other thing that people have a problem with you is they consider you arrogant. They say because this man is so filthy rich, and there are people who tweeting that apparently you can cook githeri for a week with the kind of money you have.
I'm not sure where that comes from, Jeff. But it's a good prayer that it's not bad to be rich, Jeff.
I
Really,
would
it's
know.
not
I would know.
But about arrogance, people are entitled to their opinion.
Are you arrogant?
But I think
Are you arrogant,
I'm
Governor?
firm. I'm not arrogant. I'm firm. True to the fact. I'm very, very firm. So that sometimes people may construe that to mean that I'm arrogant because I stand for what I believe. You need to talk to me. You need to negotiate with me and make me change my mind on something that I've said.
Yeah.
I'm a team player, so really arrogance is out of the question.
You look like a difficult person to approach. People say this.
They say so, Jeff. I want you to understand that the job of a governor is not the job of a kiosk person that you may just sit there and look beautiful. It's a job that you need to be tough. You need to understand what it takes to do what you need to do. You can imagine, Jeff, we started government 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. There was absolutely nothing. There are still governments, 47 governments in the country. Some of them have not even found their way to forming a functional government. And to get things going with the attitude that was there before, the attitude of the former, the defunct local authorities, it was anything was good to go. So really you have to be tough, you have to be firm, and you have to get results.
Do you think you're going to get past the nomination next month?
Past the nominations, I will go past the elections on the 8th. I will be the governor of Kiambu County until midnight, the 8th of August, and 1 second after midnight, I will start the new term, Jeff.
This is a young lady who said if you wake up on August the 9th and you're not governor, what do you do? Do you walk on? Do you move on?
Move on, go back to business and continue working hard and probably contributing to my country's development.
Yeah.
Because this is a great country, and it's our time to give ourselves and give our best to this country.
Speaking of business,
so really, whether you are in office or not, Kenya is a great country.
So you will accept the results if
there is a fair and free election, and which I hope it will be. And
what makes you think it won't be free and fair?
No, I haven't said I don't think it will not be. I have said it should be, it shall be, and if it's not, we'll deal with it.
Yeah.
But I'm comfortable that I will get an easy win.
Yes. You're saying you go back to business, Governor, and there are people who have questioned your source of wealth. Again, we talked about you being filthy rich.
Jeff, mostly, it's criminal in Kenya sometimes to be rich, because you have to start now telling everyone, from this kiosk, this is the business I did. From that kiosk, that's the business I did. But I have walked a long way, Jeff. I started working at the age of 22 in Mombasa. And I have worked all these years very hard. I'm now one of the real estate developers in Kenya. I don't brag about what I do, but really I don't do that business that these people want us to think about.
They do say that a lot. Why do they say that, Governor?
This comes from the year 2002 when I was vying for MP Juja. Of course, that was the first time a helicopter was ever seen in campaigns. And the Honorable Dichu, Stephen Dichu, and his team, these are the guys who started this talk. Why would a young man fly all over in a helicopter? Where would he get all this money from? This guy is married to Mwau's daughter. And Jeff, by the way, Mwau doesn't have a daughter. He doesn't have one. My wife is not a daughter of Mwau. So this is all just propaganda. And this propaganda was supposed to sway the vote then. It didn't. It was supposed to do it in 2007. It didn't. 2010, it didn't. 2013, Jeff, it didn't. This is my 5th election, Jeff. I don't know how many people have done 5 elections. You must be really what it is,
Yeah, Governor, there's about 10 million people watching you right now.
Yes.
Would you swear to the people watching, to Kenyans, many of them are your electorate, that you've never sold drugs?
Jeff, you don't even need to ask me that. I'll swear on my child. And I've known you for a long time. I've known you since when you were in CNN. And I've known people say things about Jeff, Jeff did this when I was at CNN. And you know yourself. You know whether you did those things that you didn't do. But people just rumor, Jeff. But those rumors, I put them behind myself. If I had sold drugs, if I had done anything criminal, Jeff, I would have seen the inside of jail. I mean, how smart can one be? That you live in Kenya, you do drugs in Kenya, and you still walk free. I live a criminal-free life, Jeff. But I have no regrets of being wealthy. I mean, it's not a crime.
Does it bother you? Does it hurt you when people throw all this?
It bothers me when people speak nonsense. They utter a lot of rubbish, things that they can't substantiate, things that only come when there's an election. Jeff, you will not hear this drug business after elections. You will only hear it again in 2022 if I'm going to vie for some post then.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a moment because I know you have major ambitions down the line. But when
a man who has no ambitions, Jeff, is no man.
I hear you. Yes. I hear you. Okay, so let me ask you, do you want to be president one day?
I have no plan now to be president, but it would be kind of good. Yeah, it would be kind of good to be president. Yeah, but I have no plans right now.
Yeah.
Jeff. If I can hack my job as governor of Kiambu County and make Kiambu the best place to live and grow and work in, of course, what's next, Jeff?
Okay, let's stick to Kiambu then. You promised your county that you'd fix 7,000 kilometers of roads. So far, you've only done 1,700.
That's not what I promised, Jeff. We've got 7,000 kilometers of earth road in Kiambu. And these roads have been there since independence. And they have not been done in 53 or 54 years. In the last 2.5 years, I have done 1,700. So really, if we are to do 7,000 by simple mathematics, in 4.5 years, all those roads will be done. Something that was not done in the last 55 years.
And why do people complain? For instance, the Juja, Gatonda Road?
People's expectations, Jeff, in devolution is they have got crazy expectations. People thought that devolution, as devolution sets in about 1.5 years, all roads will be tarmacked. I'll tell you, we have tarmacked about 90 kilometers of roads in the last 3 years. We hope to tarmac through our annuity program 250 kilometers in the next 14 months. Let me shock you. The national government intends to do 2,000 kilometers in the whole republic in the next, bring resources and governance closer to the people.
What do you tell your electorate? What do you tell people?
I tell them, and they have seen, that really, if we can do this in 2.5 years, what do you think we will do in 20 years? We'll have all our roads tarmacked. Most complaints you will find, Jeff, they come through gated communities. For example, Mashru, Thidegwa, Memble, where people subdivided large chunks of land. And the conditions then, and they still are, is that you need to create gravel roads, storm water drain, water points, and public utilities before you allow people to build in a subdivided land. But that never happened because of the corruption and the problems that came with the defunct local authorities. So now what do? Everyone expects that the roads in Mashru, the roads in Tindegwa, the roads in all these places need to be tarmacked. Jeff, I will tell you, if anyone thinks that government will tarmac 8,000-9,000 kilometers of road in the next 20 years, it's not going to happen.
It wouldn't happen.
It's not going to happen. We don't have the resources to do so. But we got brains. We can turn around some stuff and say, what do we do? My plan, which is now before the Assembly, is to allow the Assembly to make some law that allows us now to tender for these roads, to be built, and the cost of building these roads be apportioned proportionately to the plots. I'll give you an example. We're trying this with Mashu on Kiambu Road. To do drainage, sewage, bitumen standard road, that is tarmac, and having water serving every other property, it's going to cost 3.8 billion shillings. If you apportion that proportionally to the quarter-acre plots that are there, you will find that each plot will pay about 380,000 shillings, a little under 500,000 shillings. And the property right now is about 4 million shillings, that property. But after all this infrastructure development is done, the property is going to move from 4 to 8 million shillings. So, boss, what mathematics do we need to tell people? Spend 500,000 and your property is worth 8 million, 4 million more. And this will allow now all our gated communities, all these people who are complaining that they don't have good roads in their within the residential areas, they will have good roads in 14 months.
Yeah, Governor, someone else was asking, speaking of gated communities, people uprooting coffee farms to build residential areas, to build gated communities. You allowing that?
What we have done, and I think we're the first county that has done this, is we have now processed our first spatial plan We have now designated places for agriculture, residential housing, that is commercial and for residents, single dwelling houses. But again, Jeff, even if we tell people this is only designated for agriculture, that is the best I can do. I can't force you to grow coffee. Neither can I force you to grow beans. It's agricultural, whatever it is that you want to do with it. But what we want you to realize is the fact that the land, prices in Kiambu have, gone really crazy. 5 years ago, to buy an acre of land on Kiambu Road was about 4.5 million shillings. It's now 90 million shillings. So growing coffee will never get you the money that you will get in about a year and a half if you subdivide it and do real estate. So really, farmers now know they're sitting on gold. Gold not when you farm coffee, but gold when you do real estate development. So in the next 15 years, we may be able to control what happens on our land.
Yeah, but you're not going to be there then,
finally,
you won't be there.
What? I will be around.
But you won't be governor?
No, I will not be governor. I will have done my 2 terms, but I will still be there and say, we did it. This is what we did. This is why now infrastructure development is controlled. If we don't control or put some measures that bring some sanity in the construction industry, then we will find Madare everywhere in Kiambu, because everyone wants to. You realize that in every well-organized residential area, there's a slum.
Yeah.
So no matter what it is that you do, we need to start worrying about where do workers of these real high-rise buildings, because now we're going 20 floors in Riru, we're going 20 floors in Thika, because we have a new sewage system. And this is the sewage system that I fought for when I was MP. While other guys were doing other things, I was busy fighting for infrastructure development for Roiro Juja Thika, which I was the MP for. You will find that if we do not cater for low-cost housing for even workers, domestic workers, we will be having new slums all over. So these are things that we have now brought into consideration. Luckily, the World Bank and UN Habitat is working very well with us. We are the first county now to have an EDAMS. This is Electronic Development Management System that was funded by the World Bank. First World Bank program, Jeff, to be initiated within 6 months and implemented in 6 months.
And it's working.
So we started these negotiations in March last year, and it was launched in September. We are fully automated.
Governor, real quick.
The first county to be completely automated in terms of revenue collection. I heard you sing about something else earlier, about another county. It is Kiambu that has the highest growth in revenue.
How much do you collect a month?
1.1 billion in 2013-14, 2.56 billion last year.
How much do you get from devolution?
8.5 billion, which 80% is wages.
Yeah, always happens. Governor, real quick, did you fight the battle to move the capital of Kiambu from Kiambu to Thika? Did you?
It was a battle that wasn't a battle. It wasn't there. It was just things that people want to talk about. When we came in, Kiambu, where it was supposed to be the headquarters, there was actually no infrastructure. There were no buildings for us to operate from. We had the choice to move the county assembly to Thika and move the executive to Kiambu. But we had a bigger room in Kiambu for the assembly. And so we gave the assembly the priority, because they would fit there, they would not have fitted in Thika. And quickly we started working on the old building, renovating, because we didn't have money to do a new building. But the politics of Kiambu was such that people needed to talk about something. If you don't bash Kabogo, then you will not be known. And people, you would hear MPs saying, Jeff, I don't want my people to go and pay in Thika. And the guy is talking about paying in Thika, yet there is an office of governor at every sub-location, at every ward, at every county, sub-county. So this was just politics. But it took us about a year and a half to redo the housing that was there. And we spent about 40, 50 million shillings. You've seen counties spending 300 million. We couldn't afford spending that kind of money. But now we're in Kiambu. We've been there for the last two and a half years.
And that is the
And that's the headquarters.
The headquarters,
yes.
yeah.
Of course, if money allows, we need to put a main building there that will house the 10 departments, our 10 ministries, because we are now scattered all over. But since we're digitized, it doesn't matter where you work from, because we are completely digital.
Governor, what would you say has been your greatest achievement in your first term?
One, our health services are excellent, I would say. I mean, we found our hospitals in a pathetic condition when we came in. We've been able to redo all our level 4 hospitals. We're doing 5 new hospitals, 250 beds, one in Lari Kirenga. As you know, there's no hospital between Nairobi and Naivasha. We're doing a new hospital ward in Tigoni, that is in Limuru. If you read the complaints of the citizens then was that men and women were sharing a ward. So we're doing a new one there, 200 bed. It's 3 floors, 70% complete. We're doing a new one in Wengigi in Kabete. We're doing a new one in Thogoto in Kikuyu. We're doing a new one in Thika, which is actually almost complete. We are hoping that we should launch it with the president this coming month. Reproductive health unit, 6 floors at 870 million, almost complete.
Biggest regret?
That we are not properly funded. That given the number of people that we have, the wage bill that we have, if we could quickly be able to harmonize our staffing, and that we surrender the excess staff to the national government and they redeploy them, something that we started 3.5 years ago, would have saved a lot of money for development. But all is not lost. At the pace that we're going, if you go to water, we had a coverage of about 15 to 18% water coverage, fresh water, drinking water. And now we are proud to say we have done 46% coverage. My best pet project is the Biashara Fund, because you realize that we have a huge population. We have very many young men and women who are not working. And through the Biashara Fund, I think we've given out close to 400 million shillings to people who would never have seen a loan, people who have no collateral to take to a bank, people who have no hope at all that they will ever be funded by anyone. But the county government of Kiambu is funding, of course, through banks. And some of these guys have become employers. If we are to increase this fund with 500 million shillings every year, I'm hoping that by the end of my 5th year in the second term, we should have close to 7 billion shillings.
That's if you make it that far, right?
That's it, yes. And I'm hoping I will. I know I will.
Before we go to break, Governor, real quick, one of the questions was about the alcoholism in the youth. What are you doing about it? It's still a big problem.
This is it. Unemployment is the cause of all these problems. And people think, Jeff, even in, not only in slums, not only in Kiambu, even in our society, our level, when you're so down, you think that you can bury your problems with alcohol. And it's never the case. But if we can create jobs and make them busy, then they will have less time to engage in illicit brew. Again, remember that there are many people, very senior in society, serious businessmen who are making millions of money through the trade of illicit brew. I mean, alcohol is never found anywhere. It is imported. Who imports it? You remember a few months ago, a truck was arrested in Embu with, I think, 21 drums of seriously poisonous alcohol that is meant for industrial use, and it disappeared. But if we can continue to encourage young men and women to become, economically active in terms of self-employment, they will be able to run away from this menace.
Yeah, you promised to create 50,000 jobs, Governor.
Yes, of course.
Did you?
If you look at the 400 million shillings that is with young men and women, we've done, I think, 1,682 projects that are affecting people, Jeff.
Hold that thought, Governor. I'm going to take a break, come back. Plenty more ahead. You're staunch supporter of the president. Staunch. In fact, the other day you were warning Mombasa governor against...
Yes, I was saying he needs to behave himself.
Hold that thought. We're going to take a break. Please keep sending your questions and comments to the governor of county number 22, William Kabogo, who's my guest tonight. Also, the poll question we asked you earlier on, would you vote for William Kabogo come the August elections? Yes or no? SMS number 22422. Twitter handle at Governor W. Kabogo, at Koinange Jeff, at Citizen TV Kenya. Hashtag JKLive. JKLive takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.
Excellent. Who is voting?
You're watching JKL, brought to you by Telkom Enterprise. Accelerate your business growth with reliable high-speed connectivity solutions from Telkom Enterprise.